Some unusual movement was seen around the campus, as some of the visitors in the event saw a man at a suspicious spot on the rooftop of a building. Later, after the assassination, in a stampede situation, a video surfaced where a person can be seen running along the rooftop.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up, because the circus of American politics just turned into a crime thriller. And no, this isn't Netflix, this is real life. Charlie Kirk, yes, that Charlie Kirk, the conservative golden boy who loved nothing more than arguing with college kids in food courts, has just been assassinated on a college campus, shot, gone, in a debate, and the question rattling through every headline.
The face of MAGA, an important ally of Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk was fatally shot on September 10, 2025, at Utah Valley University from a rooftop over 100 yards away.
Every push notification and every conspiracy forum right now is simple. Who pulled the trigger? Because let's be honest, this wasn't some random act of violence. Oh no, this was a sniper shot 200 yards out. Clean, cold, calculated. That's not an accident. That's a message. But from who? A political rival? A rogue student radicalized by TikTok? Or maybe, just maybe, one of those shadowy players who benefit most. When the chaos machine spins out of control, the media is calling it a tragedy. The politicians are calling for unity. But let's not kid ourselves. Behind the curtain, this is pure, uncut scandal. And tonight, we're pulling receipts, whispers, and dirty secrets until we figure out not just who killed Charlie Kirk, but who wanted him silenced.
Surfaced. The person has been identified as Matt Tabor, who appears to be a strong critic of Charlie as of now.
Let's set the stage, shall we? Because Charlie Kirk's murder isn't just about a bullet, a rifle, or a rooftop getaway. No. This is about legacy, about enemies, about a man who built his entire brand on being a professional provocateur, a campus gladiator who thrived on conflict, and then one day, conflict bit back. Charlie Kirk wasn't just some commentator tweeting hot takes from his couch. He was the loudspeaker for Turning Point USA, the man who turned arguing with liberals in cafeterias into $1 million conservative empire. He was the guy mainstream media loved to hate, the so-called conservative whisperer to college brothers who thought Ben Shapiro was too polite. And every time
there's been a shooting, we heard shots.
time he stepped on stage, he carried not just a microphone, but a target. Because here's the thing about Charlie, he didn't just debate. He poked, he provoked, he thrived on outrage the way reality stars thrive on Botox. Remember his viral clips where he told 19-year-olds that socialism was Satan with better branding? Or when he called climate change just weather with a PR team? That wasn't just politics. That was performance art designed to enrage, and oh boy, it worked. So when he rolled into Utah Valley State University to launch his brand new nationwide conservative campus tour, this wasn't just a speech. This was an event. The flyers were everywhere. The TikTok teasers had college leftists foaming at the mouth. Security was tight. Cameras were rolling. And Charlie was grinning like a man about to win another viral argument. Except instead of applause, instead of boos, he got silence. The kind of silence only a rifle shot can deliver. Police say the sniper fired from 200 yards away. Precision so clean it makes you wonder if this was really some angry student with a grudge, or something much bigger. And here's where it gets messy, because almost instantly, the theories started flying faster than the bullets. Was it Antifa? Was it a deranged stalker? Was it a political hit job to shut down one of the loudest conservative voices in America? Meanwhile, the establishment tried their usual script. Tragic loss, we must unite. Violence has no place in politics. Spare me. Within hours, Trump had already announced Charlie would be awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Unity, please. This wasn't just about mourning. This was about narrative. Turning Kirk from provocateur into martyr, from campus debater into political saint. And while his supporters wept and his enemies smirked behind locked accounts, the rest of us were left staring at one question. Who had the motive, the access, and the cold steel nerve to pull this off in broad daylight? Because trust me, This wasn't the work of an amateur. This was a statement. And that's where the scandal begins to unravel. Because when a bullet speaks louder than a microphone, you have to ask, who benefits? And that's when the whisper started. The so-called anonymous leaks that make you wonder if the truth is hiding in plain sight. First came the report, unverified, of course, but conveniently leaked to a few bloggers, that the rifle wasn't just any rifle. Oh no, it was a customized military-grade bolt action with modifications only someone in the know could access. Translation, not a basement build, not a garage hobby. This was a weapon meant for a message. One investigator allegedly told a reporter off camera, "This is the kind of hardware you don't stumble across on Craigslist. Somebody either supplied it, or somebody wanted this clean." Then there was the footage. Grainy surveillance video from a stairwell showing a hooded figure, college age, backpack slung over one shoulder. Movie with the kind of calm you don't see in your average panic student. Police called him a person of interest. Online sleuths called him everything from an Antifa commando to a disgruntled turning point insider. Because let's be real, Charlie Kirk made as many enemies on his own side as he did across the aisle. Remember the stories about his lavish Turning Point USA spending? Private jets, luxury retreats, donor money flowing like champagne at a Kardashian wedding. Yeah, that didn't exactly make him Mr. Popularity inside conservative circles. Some insiders even whispered that Charlie was becoming too big for his boots, overshadowing senior figures. Who didn't appreciate his frat boy meets culture war style of politics? Could this have been an inside job? The narrative practically writes itself, and don't forget the timing. Kirk's Utah event wasn't just a random stop on his tour, it was the kickoff. Big donors were watching. National media was lurking. Trump's re-election machine had eyes all over it. So if someone wanted to make a point, if someone wanted to silence Kirk before he could build momentum again, this was the moment. A clean shot, a fallen figure, and a headline that echoed coast to coast. Public reaction? Predictably polarized. Conservatives cried assassination, painting Charlie as a fallen soldier in the war on free speech. Liberals, at least the loud corners of social media, couldn't resist the memes. One viral tweet read, "Guess debate season is canceled permanently." Crow? Yes. But that's the internet for you. Meanwhile, conspiracy culture went into overdrive. Reddit threads connected the rifle to shadowy gun runners. TikTok detectives claimed they identified the shooter's gait as military trained. And then there was the wildest theory of all, that the shooter wasn't an enemy at all, but a plant, a staged event to martyr Kirk and fuel Trump's comeback narrative. Far-fetched? Maybe. But in America 2025, the line between reality and theater is razor thin. And as investigators tiptoed around sensitive leads, one thing became clear. The fallout from this single gunshot was going to shake far more than just a campus. Because if the leaks are even half true, the scandal isn't just about who fired the shot. It's about who ordered it. Because when a shot like that echoes, it doesn't just stop at the scene. It ripples out, tearing through politics, media, and every corner of the culture war battlefield. And suddenly, everyone's scrambling to spin it within hours. The White House press secretary gave a carefully polished statement, calling the attack deeply troubling while stopping just short of calling it political terrorism. Translation? They wanted the sympathy points without taking responsibility for the chaos boiling on their watch. On the other side, conservative pundits lined up like dominoes, each one shouting louder than the last. This was an assassination attempt on American freedom itself. One even went so far as to call Charlie Kirk the new Lincoln. Overdramatic, sure, but in the media war, exaggeration is the currency. Then came the probes. Federal agencies swooped in, flashing badges and issuing subpoenas. But you didn't have to be a cynic to see the cracks. Reports of classified evidence being sealed. Witnesses told not to speak to press. And that grainy stairwell footage? Suddenly unavailable. Convenient, right? The internet smelled a cover-up before the press conference even ended. And oh, the suspects. Depending on which corner of Twitter you fell into, the hitman was a woke activist, a disgruntled Turning Point staffer, a foreign intelligence asset, or, my personal favorite, a time traveler sent back to stop Trump's second term. Ridiculous? Absolutely. But the fact that millions were entertaining it says everything about how fractured trust has become. Meanwhile, on campus, the fallout was nuclear. Students demanded answers, faculty demanded safety. and administrators demanded everyone stop filming TikToks about the blood still staining the stage. The university president held a candlelight vigil, but half the attendees weren't praying. They were live streaming for clout. That's America now. Tragedy is just another trending hashtag. But the real question, the one nobody could ignore, was this: who benefits? If Kirk is silenced permanently, conservatives lose one of their loudest shock troops. But if he survives, scarred yet standing, he becomes a martyr, a walking billboard for political victimhood in an election year. Either way, someone cashes in on the chaos. And that's why whispers of orders from above never died down. The rifle, the timing, the surveillance gaps, it all reeked of orchestration. Too clean to be random, too messy to be professional. Almost like someone wanted it to be obvious enough to spark outrage, but murky enough to bury the truth by the end of the week. Hashtags shifted from hashtag pray for Charlie to hashtag who shot Kirk. And then to the most dangerous one of all, hashtag inside job. And that's when the investigation turned from a manhunt into a political chess match. Because in America 2025, the truth doesn't just set you free, it decides who wins the next election. And if this shooting was more than just a trigger pull, if it was a play scripted in the shadows, then the fallout isn't just about Charlie Kirk. It's about the future of power itself. So now the stage is set, the smoke is still thick, and the only question left is, do you actually believe the story they're selling you? Was this just one lone shooter with bad aim? Or a carefully scripted political theater with blood as the opening act? Drop your theories below, because I promise you, the comments section is about to be wilder than the investigation itself. And if you want the real tea the mainstream will never spill, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked, because this story is only just getting started.